Hello, I'm Brian Fredricks, a proud orchestra teacher from Atlanta, Georgia. Today I'll present to you benefits of music listening and performing using two research articles. One was written in a neurological journal in 2012, and the other is from a journal called Research Studies in Music Education in 2020. I've always been interested in cognitive benefits of music because I started Suzuki violin when I was 9 years old. As of 2020, this year, my son is 2 years old, and I'm very interested in how I can facilitate his musical ability and brain development. Of course, I'll use these experiences to affect my orchestra teaching as well. So the first article is written by Sko and Cross in 2012. Sorry if I mispronounced your names. And it's called A Little Goes a Long Way, How the Adult Brain is Shaped by Musical Training in Childhood. It is a quantitative research article, experimental, and the purpose is to test whether adults who received formal music training as children have more brainstem responses to sound than other adults who never took music lessons. So for children and adults, there are clear sensory and cognitive benefits of long-term musical training, and past musical experience is predictive of enhanced cognitive performances in older adults. So the findings in the article were that brainstem responses were larger in the adults with musical training compared to the ones without musical training, and more comparisons revealed that the untrained group had smaller brainstem responses than the trained group. Just a small amount of music lessons, around 3 years was all it takes. We're not talking about people who took lessons for 20 years. Okay, just around 3 years was all it took to fundamentally alter the nervous system in adulthood. Fascinating stuff. So this is what it looks like when an ABR is performed on a baby. And I have experience with this because just a couple years ago, I was in the hospital with my newborn baby, and I remember they performed this kind of test. A test is hearing. And on an adult, the ABR looks more like this. And the chart that's in the article, they talk about signal-to-noise ratio, so you can see in the middle there, years of music lessons, how the signal-to-noise ratio goes up. So they're able to, the brainstem is reacting more to the sounds. And at the bottom, you see years of lessons and how it goes up, the more lessons they took. And on the bottom right there, chart D, it says years since lessons. So it does slowly go down as time goes on from the lessons ending. Now the next article is written by Gage, Lowe, and Reyes in 2020. Again, sorry if I mispronounced your name. It's called Listen to the Tastemakers, Building an Urban Arts High School Music Curriculum. It is a qualitative descriptive case study, and the purpose was to examine a first year's development of an urban arts high school music program. So this was in Montreal, Canada, and the teacher taught 8th and 9th grade students using musical futures and hip-hop based education. So a lot of resources there, and also resources came from the local university as well. So they learned that informal music learning in the Music Futures program is a music education approach which emphasizes creativity while listening, performing, improvising, and composing all form part of the cognition process. Hip-hop music pedagogy can foster students' ability to make connections between related and unrelated musical concepts from music art, Western art music, and hip-hop traditions. And impediments to the inclusion of hip-hop in the music classroom include concerns about the suitability of certain artists and recordings, and the lack of musical knowledge that educators have in that particular art form, just hip-hop music. Now, in the findings from this qualitative study were that it went through several revisions during that first year from the teacher, and but 4 years later, in 2020, it was showing no signs of stopping. So it's a very successful program. And the students in the class, they master the use of keyboard and electronic drum pads, as well as music creation software such as FL Studio and Finale, which is all software that I'm familiar with. Very, very interesting idea of teaching this kind of curriculum in an urban high school environment. The students in the class released a mixtape on the school's own website. It's Up Next Recordings, and there's a website for that. So it looks like this. That is the school website. on the top left there, I thought that it looked a little bit like National Geographic, but it's actually just the mascot, But they actually published this with Up Next Recordings. That's the name of the website. Very, very cool. Thank you again for watching my presentation about benefits of music listening and performance. I'm Brian Fredricks, and I look forward to doing more with this topic.